Hi, welcome to UX Living Lab. Our presentation will start soon. Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone can hear me properly. Today we are talking about customers. This is the fourth presentation in the series, how to build a sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands. Last 3 weeks we were talking about this topic. So we start with introduction. Then the second day we talk about designing components. So we start with how to design components, vendors and channel partners. Then the third presentation talk about competitors and market. And today we are talking about customers, the most important component of the ecosystem. So some people ask me, what is ecosystem? So ecosystem is all the components or the all stakeholders which is connected to your business or innovation. So innovation ecosystem means what are the stakeholders or what are the things connected to innovation should be tracked and should be developed and should be connected. That is the way we have to develop ecosystem. That's called ecosystem. It's not just a one measurement. It's continuously we have to maintain that ecosystem. That's the innovation ecosystem. Okay, today we are talking about designing components, more specifically customers. What we are talking about customers, let us see. And I am Thomas. We talk about innovation journeys, that is ideation, concept, look and feel, prototype, MVP, feedback. Then we talk about how to listen customers, how to plan the project, execute the project, deploy and measurement. Whatever I'm talking about is connected to open innovation journeys. So you can share my presentation and also like and comment on my presentation. Or also if you want to talk to me, then you can scan this QR code and fix an appointment. Coming back to our topic. Today's topic is how to build sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands, customer. So more specifically, we are talking about customer empowerment as a strategy. Customer empowerment as a strategy means we had to teach the customer or we had to give all the information to the customer to take decisions. What is the definition of empowerment? Customer empowerment is the process of providing customers with the tools and resources needed to be successful. So whatever customer asks or whatever customer needs to take the decision, we had to provide. That is customer empowerment. Sometimes knowledge, sometimes comparison. Think about different ways customer will look into. So I will come into that stages later. But customer empowerment is the process of providing customers with the tools and resources needed to be successful. Okay, what are the stages? The stages you can see is pre-purchase stage. Of course, customer will look into the process or steps in the pre-purchase. And next stage is purchase transaction, how the customer is purchasing. There's a purchase transaction. Then post-purchase. These are the three stages of customer empowerment. That is, when you're going to purchase something, there is a pre-purchase stage. So you're learning about the product and mm, creating the awareness and comparing, lot of stages, lot of steps are there in the pre-purchase. Then you are doing the transaction, that is giving money and take the product, or some way you are taking the ownership of the product. Then after that you are using as a post purchase. These are the important aspects of customer empowerment. So what are the things we have to take care in customer empowerment? That is segmentation. Of course, you have to segment customers. Then customer purchase journeys. So how the customer coming to the purchase point in step by step. Then post purchase journeys, that is after purchase, how customer is going to use it. Then customer value creation. So in this presentation, we specifically talk about these 4 points: segmentation, customer purchase journey, post purchase journey, customer value creation. So customer empowerment in segmentation. What are the different ways you can segment? So we have to segment the customer. As we said, what type of customer you have? You have a very big group of customers, or you have a small number of customers. Still, you have to segment. So what are the different ways we can segment? We have to approach the classical concept of segmentation. That is a strategy I always recommend. That is demographic segmentation. It talks about LSM or SEC, that is Living Standard Measurement. SEC is Social Economic Classification. These are the two methods used in demographic segmentation. Living Standard Measurements is having around 30 variables to measure. Then you can say that what is the living standard of a particular customer. Similarly, socioeconomic classification, there are 11 points, 11 products you have to measure whether the customer is using. Then based on that usage, you can say that it's a demographic segmentation. What is the socioeconomic classification of the customer? Then coming to geographic. Geographic is a country-based or city-based region. If you are a global company, so you can divide into different cities and countries. If you are a regional company, you can limit it to the city and divide into small corners of the city. So that's the way you can divide geographic segmentation of the customer. So which part of the city or which part of the country the customer is coming. So in that way you can divide. Then psychographic segmentation. Psychographic segmentation talk about lifestyle and attitude of the customer. What is lifestyle? That's a traditional customer or modern customer, trendsetters, different type of customers you can define. Attitude is a customer is a innovative attitudes. That means he is ready to buy a new product always. Try before others are using. That is innovative attitude. Early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. These are different attitudes of the customers that also we have to measure. Based on that, you have to segment. Then psychographic. Then after that, behavior. There's benefits and occasion. What are the type of occasions the customer will use your product, or what are the benefits customer is looking for? There's a value for money or reliability, different benefits they are talking. That's a behavior of the customer. Then usage. It's a heavy user, light user, etc. So these 5 angles of segmentation talk about 360-degree of segmentation of customers. That is demographic, geographic, psychographic, behavior, and usage. Then after segmentation, we are talking about customer journeys. So each segment of the customer, how the customer journey works in pre-purchase, customer journey in pre-purchase. So in last presentation also I talk about customer journey, but at the in the last presentation we were talking about competitors, and before that we talk about your stakeholder, your distributors, or the what we call vendors and distributors. So from these people you can learn customer journeys. That's a way you have to approach at that stage, because you're talking to a shop owner, you're talking to a distributor, then they can give information on customer journey. But here we are talking about customer journey, and we are collecting that information about customer's journey from the end customer. So what is customer journey actually? There are different models available. This model is called David-Steiner model, one of the popular models, and it talks about the entire customer journey stages, complete customer journey stages. Some people are reduced to 3 stages, but I always recommend the 6-stage customer journey. That is awareness. The first step is awareness. How your customer get awareness about your product or service, about your brand, at the same time from competitor brands. How they get awareness? From your advertisements, from a third party, from the shop, or different channels. So how your customer, targeted customer, get the awareness? Then how your customer gain knowledge about your product or service? Maybe he'll look into net, he'll be referring to his relatives or friends, then some other ways he's trying. Also, how many ways, or what are the channels that user is getting the knowledge about the product or brand? Then next stage is liking, whether they like your product. Okay. Then preference, whether they prefer your product, how they prefer your product when compared to other products. That is a comparative analysis between your product and other products. Sometimes your product will be out, that is there, no purchase will be happening. Sometimes they prefer your product in front of competitors' products. Okay, especially the brand. We are talking about the brand because liking is always talk about product and they learn about product, but after that they look into different brand, which brand they had to select. That's while you talk about brands in preference. Then conviction. So conviction is the reassurance, or the customer taking the confirmation from different ways his decision is perfect. Correct. That is, he took the right decision. So he will be checked with his friends, or maybe in others' experience, or different ways he will recheck whether his decision is right or wrong. So if the decision should be right, then only he will go for purchase. Then come to the purchase. I will explain it again with an example. Very simple example is someone is purchasing a biscuit from a chain store. Think about it. From where he get that information about the biscuits? Maybe TV advertisements, maybe from the shop itself. So he learned about there is a biscuit for my kids. That is good. Okay, he got some awareness. There's a particular type of biscuits. Then he learn about it. How he can learn? Maybe the advertisement is a one learning platform. Otherwise, he will look into the instructions. He'll ask to the shop owner, or he'll ask to friends, others using it, and about that product. Then whether he likes it, he decide, okay, is it good, or some emotional attachment is there, so is it good, or he had to like it. Okay. Then there are different brands available in the same specification. He had to compare with the brands. With the same kids biscuit, he'll compare different brands, which I have to select, whether this brand, your brand, or other brand. So that's called preference. Then he'll reconfirm with the different people, or online, whether what I took, I decide for this biscuit, is it correct? Maybe he's talked to pediatrician, or his relatives about the decision. That is called conviction. Then purchase. So in a FMCG product or in a food product, it will take maybe 1 or 2 days for this process. Think about, you are going to buy a car. You have to get awareness about the car. You should know driving and what is the purpose of the car and how you are going to use it. So there's a awareness. At the same time, you take information about different type of cars available in the market. What are the advantage of this and that product as well as brand? Okay, the product means the premium cars are available or sedan is available, hatchback is available. So we will be comparing or learning all these factors. The first one is awareness, then come to knowledge learning. Because some people consider awareness and knowledge together, so better consider separate. Awareness is, are you aware of the product, are you learned about that product? That is two different things actually. So taking the knowledge about the product, learn about the product, then liking. So I need a car, that is a type of liking you look for first, then you look into what type of car. I like sedan, okay, that's a liking. Then preference, then in sedan itself there are different brands available. You have to prefer some brand according to your purchase capabilities, according to the requirement, according to the requirement of your family. Select the brand. Then after selecting, you again do research on whether I already decided for this brand, whether it is good, or how do you feel about it. So are you using the same brand? So what is your experience? These type of conviction process he will be doing even after decisions. Then go for purchase. So think about a car. Normally the journey will took around 6 months. So that is called customer journey. So we have to learn this customer journey according to your product or service and process what you are providing to customers. There's a pre-purchase journeys. Get all this information about each stage and keep the track. That is segment wise. Different segmentation I already explained, segment wise. Then purchase, okay, transaction. That is you have to collect information about how they purchase. Then post purchase journey. What is post purchase journey? So you have to talk about customers initial feedback. That is when he got the product, how he feel. Sometimes people say, okay, my status is changed. So most of the another important thing when you buy a car, oh, my social status is changed. If when you buy a car and your social status is going down, that is a very irritating stage, and mm, people won't buy that car because car is a status symbol. One of the important component of purchase decision of a car is status, that ego. So I am little bit higher than my neighbors, so that ego. So if the car is not satisfying that ego or not satisfying that status, the product is out. So that is a lot of brands fail in that stage because when you go to the economy car, that is secondary. For a car, the status. Okay, like that. So what is customer initial feedback when you get, okay, um, what we call my status is changed and I have more comfort, so my family is enjoying. That's the initial feedback. That is the first stage of purchase journey. Then customer onboarding. Some people that after onboarding we can take the feedback. It's better to take initial feedback before onboarding. Onboarding, the second stage. Then customer experience. These are the three post purchase journey steps. So we'll explain one by one. Customer feedback on first use, you can take from any scales. These different scales you can use. It's a bad experience, experience as expected, and great experience, because the customer is having a perception about the stage, or he visualized the stage after he owned that product, especially cars or some other products also. All the products it's having, but FMCG products it may not have such a stage, but still he is conscious on health of the kid or different things. We already visualized whether the product satisfied that experience as expected, or no, that's below than that. No, it's not coming in the first look. Bad experience and great. So these are the initial feedback you can take these type of scales. Then the second one is, as I explained, customer onboarding. Actually, customer onboarding talk about learning curve. Your learning curve to have a biscuit is very small, But learning curve for preparing a dish is little bit bigger. For learning curve to use a car is again bigger. So there is a learning curve. For every product, there is a learning curve. So that learning curve we are talking as customer onboarding. So during the learning curve, we have to give a lot of information to the customer. Maybe you have to train them. Maybe a customer is purchasing a new dishwasher. You have to train them how to use it. So in that way, we had to equip the user to use the product. That is onboarding. Okay. The learning curve, we don't know what's the learning curve of the product. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 1 day, maybe 5 minutes, whatever it may be. Customer onboarding, the company has to take care. Whatever may be the product. Even you are selling a tea bag, let them understand or discuss with them how many ways you can prepare tea. It is learning curve. So you company has to contribute. May not be a one-to-one conversation, but through different channels you can contribute, give the knowledge, or that strategy you have to formulate based on your product or service. But company should involve in the learning curve. That is very important. Even in a service, one of the bad service givers in this area is hospitals. When you come back from hospital, whether any hospital call you after 1 week and ask about what is happening or what is the stage after your after you come back from hospital, are you feeling okay, or what are the things you are doing, what are the whether the instructions given by the doctor is clear to you, whether we need any more clarity. Very hard to get that type of service from a hospital. Okay, so maybe there are a lot of customers for the hospital, that's why they are not doing. But think about that is one of the thing a patient is expecting from hospital. Okay. Okay. So this is the way you have to think about learning curve, the customer onboarding. The best way is from the initial feedback or from the purchase point onwards, develop a digital twin of each customer and forecast what it is actually. You have to keep the entire record of the customer. Think about, the entire steps of the customer. For example, if you are buying, if a customer is buying a dishwasher and the dishwasher is used by the servant in that home, so that type of information you should have, because servant is using dishwasher every day, even though the purchaser never used it directly with his hands. So mostly the servant is using. So whether the car is purchased and the owner never drive the car, normally they is using by chauffeur, the driver is using. So that type of information you have to get about each customer. That is, you have to keep a replica of the customer in your database. That is what we call digital twin. That's a digital replica of customer in customer, entire customer. So that means if you have specific software to reproduce the customer, it should reproduce as it is like a customer. So how he behave, for example, a customer is buying a dishwasher, then how many times he is using, when he is using, what type of uh, dishes he's put into that washer, and think about each person is using the product in a different ways. So develop the digital twin of customers and try and focus. So you can focus, okay, next week this is going to happen with that dishwasher, or this is going to happen with that customer. Think, for example, washing machines, I always notice that how many times you are using washing machine in a week. In my personal experience, it comes to 9 to 10 times. Then who is using? Okay, I put clothes into the washing machine myself or kids, but it is operated by servant. Okay, when you are operating that washing machine, early morning, I start early morning. They start washing machine started early morning, but when you take the clothes back, maybe after 2 or 3 hours after completing that washing process, still it will be like that. Maybe taking after 3 or 4 hours. That is happening with me. So these type of information I'm talking about. So you know that okay, this washing machine is operating like this in this with this customer. So you can expect this type of maintenance problem with that washing machine, and these are the cares you have to take on. So you can forecast different things. How the customer is going to use your product next week. Any of the company, I'm talking about any of the dealer. I'm talking about not talking about the big companies, talking about the medium level brands. If you are selling ice cream, do you know that particular customer? Okay, in the case of ice cream, you can't take a specific customer. That is a segment of the customer, that is teens in Delhi. How they consume ice cream? You have that knowledge. So note, you have to prepare that. In FMCG products, it's better prepare based on persona, but in B2B products, it's better develop based on clients or customers, individual customer, each customer. But in FMCG, it's very difficult for the individual customer. There's a huge customer you want to have. So develop the persona of different segments of the society, and keep the twin, digital twin. This is one of the important strategies everyone has to follow. Don't think that when you sold a product, when you sell a product, that is over. No, that is a point. You are starting the relationship with customers. After selling, when customer owns the product, you are starting the relationship with customer, the real relation, the one-to-one relationship. So keep that replica of each customer in your database. That's what we are talking about. Develop digital twin of each customer and forecast what is going to happen for teens next week in Delhi for consuming ice creams. Or the weather will be having any issues, or think about a lot of factors it will affect. So that is one of the beautiful ways of maintaining customer records as well as customer relationships, because that customer is in front of you in your office in the digital form. So you know what your friend is going to do on next week. If something happened to you, what your friend or family or relatives going to do, something happens. So that type of relationship you have to build with the customers. Okay, that's called digital twin. So everything to then next is customer experience. This is one of the interesting area. Develop and track customer experience index. So you have to develop an index, customer experience index, persona wise or individual wise. So what it is? Customer experience index score measures how successfully a company delivers customer experiences that creates sustained loyalty. So it's a B2B, you can create CX for a individual client, or FMCG, you can do it for persona. So what it is, CX quality, what are the variables? The effectiveness. How effective was the brand at meeting customer needs? So customer have different needs. For example, you're talking about washing machine. Customer needs a very dirty clothes to be washed, or some soft clothes to be washed, or some shoes to be washed. Think about different needs customer is having. Whether your brand in a product level, at least in the product level, it is meeting the needs. Or in the higher level, whether the brand gives all the solutions what customer is looking for in washing. So that is the effectiveness. Then ease. How ease was the work with the brand? So think about a customer. It's how easily he can work with the brand. It's a very easy to understand. The customer is not going to take a PhD on your product. So that your product or service to be easy to understand to a customer. Very easy. So he's not going to research on your product. They have no time for that. So it should be very easy. So easy. How easy was it to work with the brand? Or very complex designs and very complex operating levels, and you can understand what it is. Then emotions. How did interaction with the brand makes customer feel? So when they want some assistance, when you talk to um, the brand, whether it creates an emotional attachment. How did the interaction with the brand makes the customer feel? Otherwise, it will always go to the automated system and automated bot, and it will say something else. When he ask what you want, he said, "I am in Delhi," so something like that. So, oh, these all the bots are horrible. So, if according to my personal experience, if we start with the bot, immediately I stop that call because that's horrible. Nobody can design to that level, so it's better keep personal contact to the customer and make the interactions more emotional, because it's a human being, so human interactions are emotional. How the interaction with the brand makes customer feel? They have to feel that they are the part, and they you care about that customer. So these are the main variables. Then what will be the loyalty side? Retention. How likely is the customer stay with the brand? So these are the results. So whether the customer will stay with your brand for the next buy, next product, or they should keep the existing product. If one of the biggest problem, or what we can say, one of the failures of the brand is if customer will buy the brand and not using it. If your product is like that, don't think that, okay, I already sold a lot of products, that's my enough, I got my money already. But this is the dip, or this is the chasm you can't cross, because customer already purchase it, and not using it creates a huge negative reviews on your product, and you can't move forward. Okay, I already cheated with this brand because it's having no use, then don't, my friend, or he will need advice to his friend or related, don't buy it. I already had a bad experience with this brand. So that is the problem you are going to face if the person is not using the brand, or you are not giving the proper service. Okay, how likely the customer stay with your brand? How likely the customer to buy additional or the next product? If the next product released by you, okay, they have to be a feeling that, oh, I am using one product of this company, that's a great product, so I have to buy this also will be great. That is mental level of the customer. How likely the customer to buy additional products? That's how this. Then third one, how likely customer will recommend the brand? So I already explained. Okay, I'm using this brand, why can't you use it? That is that is the biggest sale you are looking for. So if one person can recommend to another 10, think about, because that customer is more convinced with the person who recommends, not from your advertisements or your information, is more convinced with that person, or more trusting that person than you. Okay, than your brand. I'm saying than you means than your brand. So how likely the customer recommends the brand? That is, these are the loyalty points. So actually, these are the 6 variables you have to think about when and develop the customer experience index. Individual customer or a persona, then track this index to be measured every week or every month. You have to develop a periodic measuring methods, then track it. Okay, that is called customer experience index. Then value measurements. So at the end, you have to create some value with customers, value in customers' mind. Otherwise, you can't sell. How costly your product is or how cheap your product is doesn't matter. Whether customer is having a value. If you are talking about only with money terms, how a low brand, low cost car and a luxury car can sell? Because a purchaser of luxury car is having a value, and this value already also have the purchaser of the small car, but he is not having the financial capacity to buy that product. It's not because of lack of quality he's not buying Ferrari. He's not having the financial capacity to. That is the way you have to position your product. That's called value measurement. So that's a value customer think or customer have more than your brand. That is very important. So what are the points in the value? What are the gains? So when we use your brand or your product or service, yeah, when we use all those things, what's the gain customer is getting? Comfort, status, easiness, or whatever it may be. So what are the gains? So what are the gain creators? That is the thing you have to measure. What are the gain creators? Is the status, is the easiness, or value, what we call the comfort, or anything you can talk about, health, or according to your product, anything you can. What are the gain creators? At the same, there are a lot of pains. So what are the pains? Is the learning curve is too long? That's one of the pains. It won't work when I need. Okay, that's a it's a disaster. And I use a car, I think it will stop in between my travel. Okay, if that is the point, then it's a nightmare. It's a what great your brand is, but that product you delivered to me is a nightmare. So at any moment it will stop in road. So that this even though your brand is great, but this product what you delivered is very bad, so I'm not interested. So these type of pain. So what are the pains the customer is having? Customer always look for easiness and comfort. So and result. Okay, the core results it should give at the same time easiness and comfort. So what are the pains? So we should design pain relievers, or we think about pain relievers after measuring that pain. Then task. What are the tasks customer has to do? Okay, if you buy a car, you have to drive it. So that is a task. If you purchase a washing machine, you have to operate it. So what are the things you have to put the clothes and put soap and to operate? These are the tasks. So these are the three main things we have to think about value measurement. What is the gains which connect to gain creators? What are the pains which connect to pain relievers? The task that is connect to daily task customer has to execute. Okay, by looking to these three things, what you are measuring? Actually, you are measuring a reliability of your brand. How trustworthy, or how what is the level of trust the customer is having on your brand? Reliability of brand, that is trust always comes to what they when we keep our words, that comes first, and that's mainly talking about reliability, whether that product gives what they promise. That is important. Okay. Then responsiveness of your team, how fast, how quickly, or how emotionally you are responding. The responsiveness of the team. Okay, that is another value. The third is knowledge provided to customer. What are the knowledge you've given to customers? You give maximum knowledge to the customer. Then empathy, personalized solution to each customer. So how personalized you are giving that service to customer. Then convenient facilities for how easily they can interact with you, because each customer will be having different channels of interaction. Someone will prefer phone, someone will prefer chat, in person. Okay, whatever may be the channel customer is looking for, we have to interact in that channel. Then only the customer will be happy. Because a person not interested in phone, and if you are trying to call him, actually take my case, I won't take any calls. So What is happening? Always the bank is calling me about new loans, and immediately I will stop that call, because normally I won't take any calls. Still by mistake I take the call. They are talking about this, so stop it. So I'm not at all interested in that type of interaction. Even I'm not have the patience or not interested to hear what you're saying. Even though you are providing great things for me, but I'm not interested to hear, because you select a wrong channel for me for interaction. So you custom being a brand, you have to open to all channels, and what channel customer is looking for, that's very important. Then personalized solutions. I'm giving a very interesting story always. 2 or 3 months back, when I called to a service center uh, for dishwasher, then they were okay, these are the complaints I am seeing in the dishwasher. They said, okay, our person will come. Okay, right? Within 24 hours. Okay, it's great. Even after 48 hours, the person not come. So what they had done, they closed that. They closed that complaint without coming to my home, because they want to show the status. All the complaints are closed in time. So don't do these type of blunders with customers. What I said, I immediately raise ticket to the higher, the national level authorities of the brand, national level GM or vice president of that brand. Send a mail. Immediately they will come back. That's good, because with top persons will always come back faster. Then, then the person said, okay, okay, I will come to your home again. I will reopen that. Okay, you open or close, that's your problem. I am not interested to hear, but you have to solve this. Okay, I want to talk to this number. I don't know, but I want to talk to the number which entered while you register your product. I said, what you're talking about? I purchased this product 4 years back. At that time, I purchased. Okay, that there was one number I given. So you want to talk to the owner of that number. Okay, so are you immediately I ask, are you talking, are you interested to verify that number, or you want to solve my problem with the dishwasher? No, I want to talk to that person. For what? For what? No, no, that is the way we want. So I said, stop it. Take the dishwasher away from my home. I need not require your product. What you are talking about? I have a dishwasher. It's having a serial number, or it's having already registered with your database. From me or my family member writes a complaint. You have to take care of that complaint. So this is the way most of the people are interacting or finding excuse to what we call hide the customer, or not giving the service to customers. So all these points will negatively affect you, of your brand. Don't be smart on these type of things. Customer immediately think, okay, I waste my money and time with these people. So, my friend, don't go with this brand. That is my conclusion. That's all. Okay. So these type of things you have to take care. Don't do these type of gimmicks or these type of unwanted things with you, because your brand loyalty is very important. Whatever affecting negative to your brand loyalty, you have to care. Maybe your distributor or your sales executive may have less importance to your brand loyalty. They will look into the product or sales and their profits or their salaries and incentives, but you have to take care about your brand loyalty. That is very important. The value is brand loyalty is the value. So otherwise, why should you use Apple? Just think about, there are a lot of phones available with less cost. So why should you use Apple? Okay. So these are the points we have to measure the value. So you have to measure the value of your brand continuously. This is a very important thing to get the sustainable information or continuous information about your brand as well as the customers. Okay, then after doing all those things, what's your benefit? How do you benefit from the maintaining this component of ecosystem? So develop your strategy. Very simple. What are the strategies you can develop? Your next product, of course, you are getting a lot of information from customers. So you can look into the what next product, pricing and discounts, cart abandonment. That is one of the important things you have to take care. Cart abandonment. Cart abandonment. What it is? So user will try to purchase something. Even they purchase the car, they will purchase some additional things, maybe mats or seat covers, all those things together they are purchasing. So they prepare it as a cart and a cart. Then while the time of purchase, they will remove something from the cart. So that is called cart abandonment. Or sometimes the entire complete entire cart will be this what we call one entire cart will be uh, removed, or sometimes some products from the cart will be removed. So that is called cart abandonment. We have to look into that very seriously, because that's a decision point of priorities. Think about in a supermarket, person take lot of products for the purchase, then while after that he removes some products from the cart because he already decided to take. Then after some time, what may be the reason? Maybe he's not having the budget. That's the one reason. Second is he got information of better product than this from the next rack. Okay, that may be the reason. So quality or price. Oh, you have to learn about it. Cart abandonment. Always any product. Think about a person is purchasing milk, butter, and bread on the food, and egg, milk, butter, bread, egg for today morning. Then after Sunday, okay, no, I need not require butter. Better. Okay, I got a cheese. So it's better cheese. You can include cheese, avoid butter. So that cheese may be from another brand. That's okay, but she still replace the product and brand. It's very serious. You have to learn about this. Continuously, you have to track the information of cart abandonment. We are doing huge research on it. What makes that cart to be changed, or the products in the cart to be changed? Okay, then you will get the strategies on advertising, team building, innovation, and consumer interactions. Also, consumer interaction, I already talked a lot of things about it. These things you can easily design strategies and define for your product. That is the advantage of keeping this ecosystem component. So I'm done. So what are the takeaways? How to build a sustainable innovation ecosystem? We are talking about customer empowerment. So take customer empowerment as a prime strategy. You can look into different strategies, but what we suggest is customer empowerment as prime strategy. Empower customer during pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase. So these are the three stages you have to empower. Then segment customers based on geographic, demographic, psychographic behavior, and usage. So each segment you have to work on. Then the next is analyze pre-purchase journey stages. That is awareness, knowledge, liking, preference, conviction, and purchase decision. Then analyze purchase process, maybe online, offline, different type of processing. So then analyze post-purchase journey stages, initial feedback, customer onboarding, customer experience, and value created. So then at the end, value measurements you have to do, the customer's gains, pains, and tasks. So reliability, responsiveness, knowledge, empathy, and convenient facilities. These are the variables for value measurement. So track the value you created in a customer's mind with your product or service. That is the end result of this, and it gives business to you. It improves the brand value. If you improve the brand value, it gives the business. Okay, done for this week. On next week, I'll come with the next component, that is startups. That's very interesting component you have to keep in your ecosystem. Thank you for your time. See you next week. Of course, as I said earlier, you can like, comment, and share my presentation. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment box. At the same time, you can ask me anytime. I will answer these questions. Also, you can talk to me by scanning this QR code. I invite all of you to subscribe our newsletter, UX Living Lab News. Waiting for questions. Thank you. Thank you for your time. See you next week.